In a universe where strength is the only law, where entire civilizations fall to a single warrior, there exists a Viltrumite who doesn't just fight for victory, he fights for the feeling of it. Conquest, a name that doesn't just represent power, but something far more disturbing. Because Conquest isn't just strong, he's a warrior who enjoys destruction. To understand how powerful Conquest truly is, you have to go back to the beginning, to the Viltrum Empire, a civilization built on one ruthless belief: only the strong deserve to live. This wasn't a philosophy, it was reality. The Viltrumites carried out a purge that wiped out the weak, leaving behind only the most powerful survivors. Billions died, just to create a race that could dominate the stars. A race perfected through violence, forged through survival. And even among these warriors, Conquest was different. From an early age, there was something off about him. Where other Viltrumites trained with discipline, Conquest trained with obsession. Where others fought to win, he fought to feel something. Pain didn't scare him, it excited him. The impact of a blow, the cracking of bone, the moment his body was pushed to its absolute limit, that's what drove him. While most Viltrumites viewed combat as duty, Conquest viewed it as purpose. Over time, that obsession became everything. Conquest didn't just grow stronger, he grew addicted to war. While other Viltrumites became soldiers, leaders, conquerors, Conquest became something else entirely: a weapon. Now let's talk about his age, because this is where his power becomes even more dangerous. Viltrumites already live for thousands of years. They age slowly. They retain their strength for centuries, barely declining. And Conquest has spent most of that time doing one thing: fighting. War after war, battle after battle, planet after planet. He wasn't just present during the expansion of the Empire, he was one of the forces that made it possible. That means hundreds, possibly thousands of years of non-stop combat experience. Think about that. Every type of opponent, every kind of environment, every possible fighting scenario, he's seen it, he's survived it. Every fight making him stronger, not just physically, but mentally. Because Conquest doesn't just endure pain, he understands it, and eventually he begins to enjoy it. Now let's break down his abilities. Like all Viltrumites, Conquest possesses immense superhuman strength, flight at extreme speeds, fast enough to cross planets, near indestructible durability, accelerated healing that allows recovery from massive injuries, enhanced senses and reaction time. But what separates Conquest is how far he pushes these abilities. His strength is among the highest in the Viltrumite race. He can go toe-to-toe with Invincible at one of his strongest points and completely overwhelm him. Not match him, not struggle with him, overwhelm him. And this is important because by that point, Invincible had already fought beings capable of destroying cities and surviving planetary-level impacts, and Conquest still treated him like prey. When Conquest arrives on Earth, he doesn't test his opponent, he doesn't analyze, he doesn't hold back, he attacks at full force, immediately. And Invincible, who has already faced powerful enemies, is pushed into one of the most brutal fights of his life. Every punch from Conquest carries devastating force. Buildings collapse, shockwaves tear through the air, the ground fractures beneath them, people die just from being nearby. And yet, Conquest isn't even close to stopping, because his greatest strength is his endurance. Viltrumites are already known for insane stamina. They can fight for hours, even days. But Conquest, he takes that to an entirely different level. He keeps going, even when injured, even when bones are shattered, even when his organs are failing. There are moments in his fight where his body is heavily damaged, where most fighters would collapse instantly, and Conquest keeps smiling. Not out of arrogance, but out of genuine enjoyment, because to him, this is the best part.
Now let's talk about durability. Conquest can take incredible punishment. Blows that would kill other Viltrumites don't stop him. He absorbs damage, endures it, and keeps moving forward. Even when he loses parts of his body, even when he's pushed to what should be death, he still fights. This makes him extremely difficult to defeat, because you're not just fighting his strength, you're fighting his refusal to stop. And that's what makes him terrifying. Now let's talk about his feats. Conquest single-handedly devastates large areas during his fight on Earth. Entire sections of the city are reduced to rubble. He dominates Invincible for most of their battle, forcing him into pure survival mode. At multiple points, it looks like there's no way to win. Even when Invincible begins to fight back, even when the battle shifts slightly, Conquest doesn't slow down. He adapts, pushes harder, becomes even more aggressive. And here's something crucial. Conquest actually gets more dangerous the longer the fight lasts, because his mindset changes. The longer he fights, the more he enjoys it. And the more he enjoys it, the less predictable he becomes. Now let's compare him to the strongest Viltrumite, Thragg. Thragg is stronger, more strategic, more controlled. He represents perfection. But Conquest is more relentless, more chaotic, more unpredictable. Thragg fights to win. Conquest fights for the experience. And that difference makes Conquest incredibly dangerous. Because someone who fights to win can be outplayed, but someone who fights for the fight itself is much harder to stop. They don't fear losing. They don't fear death. And that removes one of the biggest weaknesses any fighter can have. Now let's talk about his physical condition. Conquest's body tells the story of his life. Scars cover nearly every inch of him. A missing eye, a mechanical arm replacing what he lost in battle. Each injury is proof of a war he survived. Each scar is a memory of pain that he chose to keep. But instead of weakening him, these injuries reinforce who he is, because every scar means one thing. He lived. And not just lived, he endured. And that endurance is what defines his power. Here's a fact that makes Conquest even more dangerous. Viltrumites actually grow stronger as they recover from near-death injuries. It's not just healing, it's adaptation. So every time Conquest survives something that should kill him, he comes back even harder to kill. Which means the version of Conquest we see is already the result of countless near-death battles. He is literally built by pain. Conquest isn't just powerful, he's consumed. A warrior shaped entirely by violence, defined by it. No empathy, no hesitation, no desire for peace, just war. So how powerful is Conquest? He's not the strongest Viltrumite, but he is one of the most dangerous beings in the universe. A warrior with centuries, possibly millennia of experience. A body that refuses to stop. A mind that thrives in chaos. And a hunger for battle that can never be satisfied. Because Conquest doesn't fight to win. He fights to feel alive. And if you're the one standing in front of him, then you're not an enemy. You're an experience. And he's going to enjoy every second of it.